Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have a magnet for money while others struggle to make ends meet? The answer might surprise you. It turns out that 70% of the world's richest people did not inherit their fortune. They built it from scratch. Yes, you heard that right. They started exactly where you are now. So, what do they do differently? Today, I'm going to reveal the 5 things that rich people do that the poor don't. And the best part is, these are habits you can start adopting right now. Habit 1. The rich invest money to save time. The poor invest time to save money. Imagine this. It's Saturday morning. You have 2 options. A. Spend 4 hours under the scorching sun, walking around the market to save $15 on a blouse. B. Buy the blouse at the nearest store and use those 4 hours to work on a project that could make you $100. If you chose option A, you're thinking like most people. If you chose option B, you're thinking like the rich. You see, the rich understand that time is the most valuable resource we have. You can't create more time, but you can create more money. Think of it this way. If your hourly rate is $5 and you spend 4 hours saving $15, you're actually losing $5. Sounds crazy, right? But it's the plain truth. Habit 2. The rich have no problem paying a little more to shop at the nearest store. They don't mind hiring someone to mow the lawn or wash the car. Why? Because they know they can use that time to develop new projects, learn new skills, or simply enjoy life. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should splurge money. If you're in a stage of life where every penny counts, that's okay. But when your situation improves, remember, invest money to save time, not the other way around. The rich invest before spending. The poor spend before investing. Imagine you've just received your paycheck. $1,000 just landed in your account. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? If you're like most people, you're probably thinking about what you're going to buy. That new phone, those sneakers you've been eyeing, or maybe dinner at that trendy restaurant. But if you think like the rich, your first question will be, how much of this can I invest? Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who opened a carpentry workshop. All he had was a hammer, 2 screwdrivers, a saw, and a bit of money to buy materials. With a lot of effort, he managed to build and sell his first pieces of furniture. Now, most people, upon seeing the money coming in, would think, great, now I can buy that new TV. But not our carpenter. Instead, he reinvested his earnings in better tools and materials. 2 years later, while others were still working with the same basic tools, our carpenter had a fully equipped workshop and was producing high-quality furniture. This is the mindset of the rich. They follow a simple scheme: earn money, invest a portion before spending on anything else, and live on the rest. Imagine you decide to invest 20% of your income before spending on anything else. Out of your $1,000, you immediately set aside $200 for investments. You have $800 left to live on. At first, it may seem difficult, but here's the magic. Your investments start to grow. Maybe the next month you make $1,200. The 20% is now $240 to invest, and you have $960 left to live on. Each month, you have more to invest and more to live on. It's like making a cake. The poor eat the entire cake at once. The rich eat a portion and use the rest to buy more ingredients and make a bigger cake next month. Start with small steps. Maybe this month you only invest 5% of your income instead of 20%. That's okay. The important thing is to start and create the habit. Habit 3. The rich think long-term. The poor seek immediate gratification. Speaking of cakes, let me ask you another question. If you had to choose between receiving $100 today or $1,000 in a year, what would you choose? Many would choose the $100 today. After all, who knows what could happen in a year, right? But the rich think differently. They understand the power of long-term thinking. Imagine you're a farmer. You just harvested your corn. You have 2 options. A. Eat all the corn now. B. Eat a portion and keep the rest as seeds for the next season. The poor choose option A. They feel good for a moment, but when the next season arrives, they have to start from scratch. The rich choose option B. They may go a bit hungry now, but in the next season, they'll have much more corn. And with each season, their harvest grows. This is how the rich build their wealth. They don't seek immediate gratification. They are willing to sacrifice a little now for a big reward in the future. When they get a raise, they don't rush to buy a new car. They invest that extra money in education, starting a side business, or the stock market. Wealth isn't built overnight. It's built with smart decisions taken consistently over time. Habit 4. The rich act quickly and learn on the go. The poor wait for the perfect moment. Does this phrase sound familiar? You can make mistakes, but you can't hesitate. The rich live by this mantra. When they learn something new, they don't file it away for someday. They implement it immediately. Imagine you read a book about investing. What do? If you're like most people, you'd probably think, how interesting. I should invest someday when I have more money, checked on time or knowledge. But if you think like the rich, you'd close the book and open an investment account that very day. The rich know that knowledge without action is useless. It's like wanting to lose weight just by watching exercise videos. It doesn't matter how many videos you watch, you won't lose weight until you get up and start moving. Do you know what's funny? We often feel more regret for the things we never did than for the things we did wrong. Why? Because when we act, we at least learn something. Now, I'm not saying you should blindly jump into every new idea, but don't wait to have all the answers either. The rich know it's better to be 80% prepared and act than to wait to be 100% ready and never start. You don't need to be great to start, but you need to start to be great. Habit 5. The rich build strong teams. The poor try to do everything on their own. Last question. Have you ever tried clapping with one hand? Impossible, right? Well, trying to achieve success on your own is just as difficult. The poor think no one can do the job better than they can, so they try to be the accountant, the marketer, the web developer, and customer service all at once. The result? Burnout, mediocrity, and limited growth. The rich, on the other hand, understand that they can't be the best at everything, and they don't need to be. Imagine you own a small business. You spend hours trying to design your logo, create your website, manage your accounts. Sound familiar? Now, imagine that instead of doing all that, you focus on what you do best, for example, creating amazing products, and hire others to do the rest. Suddenly, your business starts to grow faster than you ever imagined. This is what the rich do. They build teams of people who are better than them in specific areas. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't have the money to hire a team. And that's where many go wrong. Building a team doesn't always mean hiring full-time employees. It can mean exchanging skills with other entrepreneurs, hiring freelancers for specific projects, forming strategic alliances with other businesses, using tools and software to automate tasks. The most successful are not the ones who do it all. They are the ones who lead teams that do it all. But here's the most important part. This knowledge is worthless if you don't apply it. So, I challenge you. Choose one of these habits and commit to implementing it in your life this week. Maybe you'll start valuing your time more and decide to hire someone to clean your house. Maybe you'll set aside 20% of your next paycheck for investments before spending on anything else. Or maybe you'll finally launch that project you've been working on, even if it's not perfect. Whatever you choose, do it, because the difference between where you are and where you want to be is what you do right now. You don't need to do all these things perfectly from the start. The important thing is to start. Because once you start, you can adjust and improve along the way. Consistency is more important than intensity. It's better to invest $100 every month for a year than to invest $1,200 just once because of compound interest. Did you know that a small action today can multiply your savings in the future? Imagine the impact of making the right decision right now. If you want to discover how the rich really ensure their retirement without leaving anything to chance, I invite you to watch the next video titled, "The Best Kept Secret to Save for Your Retirement." Click now, because what you'll learn could be the detail that makes the difference between a worry-free life or working until your last day.